You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible, folks. You have corporations who are using their power to put pressure on Republicans when it comes to voter suppression. In Texas, you have HP, Levi Strauss, American Airlines, and Microsoft that will sign a letter written by Fair Elections Texas urging Republicans to uphold equality when it comes to voting. This is what they wrote. Quote, "We believe the growth of free enterprise is directly related to the freedom of its citizens. Freedom is preserved in our democracy when we hold free and fair elections that protect the fundamental rights of all Texans. We believe that Texas elections should be convenient, transparent, and secure. We believe the right to vote is sacred. When more people participate in our democratic process, we will all prosper. We stand together as a nonpartisan coalition, calling on all elected leaders in Texas to support reforms that make democracy more accessible and oppose any changes that would restrict eligible voters' access to the ballot." Now, what has happened in Texas is that for the letter from Fair Elections Texas arrives on the heels of voter bills passed by the Texas Senate that would slash extended polling hours, prohibit drive-through voting, and make it more difficult for people with disabilities to vote by mail. Joining us right now is the former mayor of Dallas and also the former U.S. Trade Representative and somebody with an okay golf game, Ron Kirk. Always good to see you.
You know, you just got to go there, but good to hear from you, my brother.
Indeed. Always glad to see you. Good to talk with you. Look, let's just cut to the chase. Republicans are trash all across the country. They're pissed off that Donald Trump lost. They have chosen to go with the lie. They have chosen to support it in every single way possible. You've got Senator Ted Cruz, who spoke truthful once about Donald Trump once, yet he posted a photo today of him having dinner with Donald Trump. They want to use their power controlling state legislatures to literally shrink the opportunity for folks to vote because they want to rig future elections.
Roland, you know, you and I both are Texas boys, and as we say down here, that ain't a question, that's an answer. I mean, I don't know how I could put it any more plainly than that. And now the reason I think you're seeing corporate America stick their neck out and wade into territory that many of them normally don't. They don't like getting involved in partisan fights. But we have seen corporate America for the rights of their employees, as they've done years ago. Corporate America was way ahead of the government in offering health care to the partners of those who weren't married. They were way ahead of the government, protecting the rights of the LGBTQ community and the trans community. And just as they spoke out against those horrific events that we saw in Washington on January the 6th. Now, I would say we did challenge them, and thank God for the leadership of Ken Chenault and Ken Frazier at the national level, that this was not an issue they could sit on the sidelines. And Roland, I was so looking forward to being with you because I knew you would break it down for what it is. If I hear one more time, you know, what's the matter with voter ID? And if I have to show an ID to get on a plane, this isn't about voter ID.
Right.
Most of these states already have voter identification standards in place. This isn't about ballot integrity. As I know it was a different topic, but as both of the prior speakers noted, it was Donald Trump's own attorney general that said, look, this was a fair election. There was no fraud.
Hold up. 50 states certified it. Republican secretaries of state, they have said even they were wrong. You have the Secretary of State in Georgia who supported Trump. Okay.
But look what Georgia did. They turned around and tried to strip him, or effectively have stripped him of most of his discretionary authority in that legislation in Georgia. And Roland, if we were just, I know you and I can argue about who's more proud of Texas A&M or Texas, but I got to tell you, our leadership in Austin has taken this foolishness to an entirely different level. which is why I have been so forcefully engaged. They are doing everything they can to empower these so-called election observers who now could be any of those people that we saw storming the Capitol and involved in an effort to try to literally overthrow our very democracy. Well, in Texas, they're going to give them more power than they're going to give election judges. And they are criminalizing potentially the behavior of election judges who, sadly, you and I know, most election judges are retired 60, 70-year-old women.
Hey, here's the deal. My mama and daddy, they are two of the most in-demand election judges, poll workers in Dallas County.
Because nobody else wants to sit there all week long.
And then guess what? They've trained my sister and my sister's daughters. 3 generations of my family work in these polling locations. But what they're doing is, and this is what people don't understand. This year, in 2020, Democrats were 5 seats away from taking control of the Texas House. Republicans in Texas were so pissed off that Democrats whooped their asses in Dallas County and Harris County, they got rid of straight ticket voting. I need everybody to understand the game. They got rid of straight ticket voting. Republicans used to kill Democrats at. Well, Democrats got smart, flipped that switch, and all of a sudden, Dallas County, where you live, used to be Republicans ran everything. Flipped it, all of a sudden, Democrats sweep. Harris County, Houston, sweep. They've been losing in the suburbs. And so they're now freaking out because what they're looking at is they're like, oh my goodness, all that recruiting of companies from out of other states, they bring the employees with them and their political ideology. So now they're scared. They're mad at Chris Harris in Harris County, who created the drive-through voting. I don't understand. There's no Republican that can explain to me what is wrong with sitting in your car, pulling up, showing your ID, handing the ballot, filling it out, handing it back, and saying, no, you got to physically walk into the building.
Roland, I'm just a little bit, I guess, which I hate saying it because I know you'll use it, but I'm old enough to be your big brother, and I'm 66 years old. So I've lived to see my parents have to fight the poll tax and your parents.
Yeah, mine's 74. Yeah.
And when we got on those buses and were met with rocks and cuffs, and we used to always say, when Republicans would always say, we're not opposed to busing, we're just opposed to this. And we had this saying, it ain't the bus, it's us. And there's nothing wrong with anything you articulated. It's the fact that we got created, which we should have done during the most frightening, dangerous health pandemic in 100 years in our country. Chris Harris should be lauded as being a hero.
That's right.
For coming up for more ways for people who were registered, legally entitled to vote, to do so. But what I want your listeners to understand, particularly if you live, you can't sit this one out. You have got to get involved. The Republicans are trying to couch this, as Roland said, as ballot security and integrity. And they will ask, how much fraud's enough? This wasn't about fraud. I mean, think about this. More people have been killed by gun violence and mass shootings in probably the last 3 months that they found had illegally voted in the entire 2020 presidential election. But yet every time you bring up doing something to control guns and make our country safer, the first thing they do is go, oh, this is a Second Amendment right. Now's not the time to do it. Well, there is no right more critical to the functioning of our democracy than the right to vote. And you know what's worse, what really offends me, Roland, you mentioned it, and God bless your parents. We've only had the right to vote for the last 50 years.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, it's really only been since the passage of the Voting Rights Act,
You're right.
1965, that we've had the right to vote. And yet now they want to implement some of the same tactics that they put in place then so that they could make sure that they could ensure the integrity of the elections. It didn't work then. It shouldn't work now. Those of you who have benefited from the labor of my parents and Roland's parents and Dr. King, You know how hard they fought for us to get the right to vote. Shame on you if you aren't willing to fight equally hard to preserve it.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this here because I said this. It was a CBC panel, and they had all the civil rights people, Sherlyn Ifill, Vanita Gupta's, now in DOJ. They were all up there. And I said to them, I said, y'all, black folks, we on this. I said, I need y'all to challenge these white folks because they're targeting young white voters. They're targeting these college campuses. They're moving early voting locations off of these campuses. This whole ballot drop box deal, I mean, to sit here and now say, not only we going to move the ballot drop box on the inside, which means you can not only use it when it's during voting hours, they even changed it where if my parents voted absentee and they said, son, take mine with you to drop it off, the law says I literally cannot physically carry my mama or my daddy's envelope. They have made that illegal.
Roland, these bills in Texas are so let me say this. Fortunately, they haven't passed. But some of the elements of what has been proposed, I mean, they're just mean-spirited, and you can't see them for anything but what they are. I mean, this is as Jim Crow as it could be. And I've had more friends say, well, but you don't think, we're being racist. There are arguments on good side. And I've told them, saying that to me, someone like me who watched my parents struggle to pay the poll tax is just as offensive as hearing Donald Trump say after Charlottesville that there were a lot of good people on both sides. Not on this issue, not this. And we have to do everything we can to stop it. And I'm so grateful to those handful of business leaders that have stepped up with us. American Airlines, Dell Computers, IBM, so many other companies, REI, and others in Texas. But we need those of you who are listening. If you live in Texas, if you have friends in Texas, pick up the phone, get them to call their legislators and tell them that this is unacceptable and we're not going to stand for it.
I agree 100%. And I'm gonna close on this here. I still fundamentally believe it had to be a true act of mercy and act of God that this woman here married you. Y'all go to my computer. This is Matrice Ellis Clerk. This is Matrice Ellis Clerk, the wife of Ron Kirk. I don't know how. I mean, she just had
good things happen to good people.
My man, always good to see you. Tell her I said hello.
Come home, man. Come home. Come on. Quit running. Come on. Get
I'm gonna come home, but my parents want to come.
Go see Mama.
No, they want to come visit me. They want to come visit me. I'm flying them up next week.
Come get your whooping.
Okay.
I got the vaccine. I'll get you vaccinated.
I'm already vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. I'll be happy to take some of that legal money.
Well, you're going to get another shot. Hey, all seriousness, we need your help. Thanks for shining a light on this. We're going to fight it as long as we can and hope we can get common sense and decency to prevail. Appreciate you, my brother.
I'll be down soon to help Deborah Peoples become the first black mayor of Fort Worth. So
I'm giving her money. I'm going to give her money again. Give her money again.
All right.
If one more person asks me, do you think she can win? I tell them I have no idea if she can win, but I know this. If you don't vote, if you don't give, she doesn't have a chance. So do what you can. She's supremely qualified for this job and would be a great mayor for Fort Worth.
All right, then. Ron Kirk, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Real quick on my panel here. This is all hands on deck. I mean, what we're seeing, and then it didn't just start in Georgia. We're seeing 47 states, Robert. But the bottom line is this here. Democrats have a very slim majority in the House, 3 seats since Congressman Alcee Hastings died. Now Ron DeSantis is going to leave that seat open. I saw one story for the next 280 days before they have a special election. The Republicans could literally gerrymander themselves to victory. So forget even voting. In Texas and Florida alone, if they are able to gerrymander 5 seats to flip those from Democrat to Republican, Democrats can lose the House. So people need to understand that if that then happens, Kevin McCarthy is Speaker of the House. Crazy fools like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they now are empowered. Crazy ass Jim Jordan now is chairing a committee. And if you thought you saw craziness during the years of Trump, we're going to go back to the years when the Republicans were attacking Obama for everything if they are in control of the House. And so for all these dumbasses out there who keep talking about, well, Roland, I don't understand, or you always talking about voting. Well, guess what? What Bobby Rush is asking for, if they in control of the House, that ain't got no shot ever happening.
Well, Roland, understand this is pervasive across the entirety of the South. It's not one particular state. It's the entire old Dixie coming together for voter suppression. Look at states like South Carolina. They're about 38% African American. Georgia, about 35% African American. Alabama, nearly 40% African Americans. We should have complete hegemonic political control in the South. Why do we not? Because of voting restrictions, voter suppression, and efforts to change the way that we vote and thereby redistrict. Understand that Donald Trump gave Georgia the mandate. He said, find me 12,000 votes. And that's how we got the new voter suppression law in Georgia. There are 159 counties in Georgia. Do you know how many people have to be able to not vote in order to get Donald Trump his 12,000? 80 people per county. 80 people per county just have to be impacted by changing the voting hours, by getting rid of drop boxes, by making it more difficult for elderly people and disabled people to vote, by having long lines. We can no longer give people food and water in order to stay in line. That is what they're doing. They're trying to skim off just enough votes to stay in power. In the last 30 years, Republicans have won the popular vote a grand total of one time. If you know someone 17 years old, they've never seen a Republican win the popular vote. In the Senate, they represent 41 million fewer people than the Democrats do, despite having a 50-50 split. They are not trying to win in the marketplace of ideas. They are not trying to actually win the majority of the American people. They are simply trying to rig and break the system to their own will, and that's how they stay in power.
Monique, when I was in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, I had some loudmouth fool out there. Roland Martin, we don't like you because all you doing is trying to get us to vote Democrat. I said, dumbass, somebody gonna win. One of them or a Democrat. I said, now, please show me, just show me the evidence where the Republicans even gonna listen to you, where they gonna talk to you. I said, show me where they are going to, I said, all this stuff you out here yelling in the megaphone, show me the evidence where they gonna support anything you saying. I said, I ain't letting no Democrat off the hook, but I damn sure not stuck on stupid and go sit here and say, sure, y'all go ahead and be in control of the United States Senate and now control all federal judges. Sure, y'all be in control of the House. Now, not a damn thing we actually want to get done is going to get passed. Sure. I'm like, you running your ass around here, out here with your dreadlocks, talking about you remember the new Black Panther Party, holler reparations. I said, show me a single Republican who has come out in favor of reparations. His ass couldn't say nothing.
Is that a question?
First of all, that was for Monique, Scott, and she on mute. Now you want to talk and your ass on mute. Go ahead. Yep. Between you and Scott, his jacked up cricket Wi-Fi, go ahead.
Yes, the heckler in chief was a whole mess, but reflected loudly a point that I don't think we can ignore in terms of the difference between what is actually happening and what people who don't spend their life watching news all day, living news at night, reading news, reporting on news, etc. They get bits and pieces because they have entire lives and work and family and etc. That they have to pay attention to, or just straight survival. And you know what he said, juxtaposed to not just everything you just said, Roland, but let's look at Mitch McConnell today, as Jennifer Epstein reported. He's quoted as saying he is 100% focused on stopping this administration. And then the press secretary, Jen Psaki, when asked about it, says, well, contrast, because we're 100% focused on delivering, relief to the American people and stopping this pandemic. But McConnell, he wasn't quoted out of context. It really is the same as it was in the Obama era. And it doesn't even matter that what this administration is trying to do is going to help so many. He didn't say, I'm 100% focused on helping this administration succeed with an eye to our principles and holding them to the fire. He just said, stop them. Like whatever it is they're trying to do is what we're trying to stop. So hello, taxpayers out there, people who are working out there, people who enjoy your Obamacare out there, whatever it is that this administration is trying to do, that $1,400 check, they're trying to stop that. The vaccines in arms, they're trying to stop that. The Obamacare, the affordable health care, insurance for other people, and the expansion that President Biden wants to do to it, they're trying to stop that. This jobs bill, forget about it. The George Floyd justice in policing, don't even think about it. Any single thing that directly affects your life, understand that the people who are in power right now in the so-called grand old party, they are trying to stop it. That's you too, Republican poor people, Republican middle-class people, because there's so few of us, them, it's not even us, who are legitimately wealthy. So you need to understand, grand old party, they don't have your principles. People like Liz Cheney, who actually have your principles, they're trying to vote them out. This is the party of Trump. You are in the party of a certified fool. Now, do you want to stay there, or do you want jobs and health insurance and benefits and an increased minimum wage? Just saying.
This is very simple for me, Scott, and I really don't care. When I see what Republicans are doing when it comes to voter suppression, I'm very clear. If you are standing on the side with Donald Trump, I want all those punk asses to lose. Every single one of them. U.S. Senate, congressional races, state rep, state senate, governor, county commissioner. I want all of them to lose. I will not be silent on this one. The Republican Party does not give a damn about black people at all. They are servicing a white conservative constituency. They don't care about black evangelicals. They care about white conservative evangelicals. They are the party of white nationalism. They are the party of white supremacy. They are the party of Tucker, keep as many white people in America as possible, Carlson. They are the party of OAN. They are the party of Newsmax. It is about whiteness, and it's a certain type of whiteness. They don't want anybody white who works for me. They don't want none of their votes. They want that grossly uneducated fool in so-called middle America who is all about God, gays, and guns, not realizing that the very party they are supporting is in bed with the Chamber of Commerce and big money. All these fools, they are anti-union, but these fools are hollering, I need a job. And so excuse me, so for all y'all out here, okay, who are sitting here complaining, oh man, I see you dumbasses, Roland, you shilling for Democrats. No, fool, I'm shilling for black people. I'm standing up for black people because I know how to read. I know how to listen. I know the difference between a party that empowers a grifter like Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, C.J. Pearson, that punk Vernon Jones, that nutcase Angela Stanton King, and the difference between them and people such as Latasha Brown, Tamika Mallory, and folks like that who are fighting for issues we care about. They are not self-identified Democrats, but they understand the issues we're facing. Now, if some of y'all want to be stuck on stupid, if some of y'all want to sit here, both parties ain't shit, it means you can challenge both parties. And trust me, I am not on the Christmas card list of the Obamas because I was critiquing and criticizing him while he was there. I was doing it the way I should have. Don't try to say I was Tavis and Cornell, because for me it wasn't personal. It's business. But when I know there's a party that don't give a damn about the George Floyd Justice Act, that don't give a damn about H.R. 1, don't give a damn about any of that, then I don't want to hear all y'all whining. Somebody gonna win, one or the other. Your ass better decide which one you want to see in power. Scott, your comment before we go to break.
Yeah, but you keep presuming that this is a political party. you have to have another political party in order to have democracy. This is not a political party. The
Yes,
GOP.
it is. Yes, it is.
No,
They're in
no.
power. No.
It's
See,
a
hold on.
party of
No. See, you're doing.
Party of
No, Scott. What you're doing is this is a mistake that Democrats are making.
But
Scott.
it's true.
No, Scott. You're making a mistake. You're making an intellectual argument. And I hear you.
You have to have a party platform.
Scott, no, you don't. Scott, they got a party platform. Their party.
What is it?
No. Their party platform is we ain't giving y'all shit. That's their platform. Everything y'all asking for, the answer is no. Their party platform, we going to keep doing tax cuts for the wealthy. Their party platform is we going to cut all benefits. The party platform is we going to sit here and shank all of y'all, and we going to sit here and keeping our rich folks all happy.
That's not a platform.
Scott,
that's just no.
No, Scott, that's their platform. So what I'm saying is there is a party. It is the Republican Party. They ain't gone nowhere. They right now believe they are going to take back the House. They believe they're going to take back the Senate. That's why I support, and I saw the tweet earlier today of Cliff Albright when he said, we're talking about voting, let me pull it up right here, when Cliff said, see, even your damn dog agree with me, Scott. Cliff Albright sent this tweet here out.
What's Bella doing?
Cliff Albright sent this tweet here out. Boom, go to my computer. 60 years after this courageous group, Black Voters Matter is announcing that we will board the blackest bus in America in June and head to D.C. to demand voting rights. We're putting out the call for folks to join the caravan. More information soon. If they don't put the pressure on Sinema and Manchin right now, I'm telling y'all, mark it right now at 7:35 on May 5th. Democrats could very well lose power, the House and the Senate. If you don't pass it now, you may not have a shot in the next 2 years. Scott, go ahead before I go to break.
Got to do it. The other thing, the one thing we have not talked about with these voter suppression laws that have been passed, Jim Crow dressed up, is the federal judiciary. That the legal engines have to start running now. You hear them revving up to attack the constitutionality of these voter suppression laws, even in these southern red states. If you remember under Trump, one of our saving graces was that many of the circuits and many of the federal district courts, whether it was gerrymandering or whether it's voter suppression laws or how those laws were being implemented, there was some relief coming from the circuits and from the federal district courts. We got to go back to court sooner than later and make those challenges happen because 2022 is right around the corner.
Absolutely.
So we can protest, we can do all this other stuff, but let's not forget about the courts, the legal defense funds around this country. We got to get into action, partnering with big firms, medium firms, and individual lawyers to bring justice in each of these jurisdictions.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it. Please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.